The Twitter API is a playground if you're inclined towards social networks and information. Building a basic bot to interact with the platform via the back-end functionality is a fun way to learn a few rudimentary capabilities. There are different ways to go about triggering bots and timeline activities, but I'm going to give you examples that rely on the Python language to make things happen. In early 2018, I acquired a Raspberry Pi to start prototyping a few projects and began initial experiments to learn to write code in Python. This included deploying packages such as Tweepy, which facilitates interfacing with the Twitter API via account credentials. My first exercise was to create image collages that Wild West analogy, an old account that had been sitting dormant for a few years, would post. The current iteration of the script randomly selects one of my photos from a folder. It also randomly selects a phrase from an array to both tweet as text and write over the top of the image in a Western-style font. It's a very simple process, but was a nice endeavor into generative art. I crowdsourced the phrases on social media and from folks offline. Having confirmed my ability to post via the API to the account, I decided to branch into engagement. When the account was initially created, it was focused on instances of the phrase, like the Wild West, which is a commonly used idiom. So the next script pinged the search function to find 5 tweets that included those words, then retweeted them. Again, very simple. It had been a number of years since I had worked with the Twitter API, and I didn't want to rely on domains or major data management. Watching how language usage evolves over time is fascinating, and I thought I saw a few trends emerging through the collection of retweets made by the account. Do you think this observation is accurate? My RPI isn't mobile, so all my work had to be done at home, which limited when I could let inspiration strike or trigger the bot without jumping through additional hoops. So to transition to mobile and more readily trigger activity or dabble with code tweaks, I started using Pythonista on iOS. This also required switching from the Tweepy Python package to Twython. Without getting too technical here, this required a few additional processes, trial and error, as well as a tip from a friend that had already encountered the same issues. My writing style is probably best described as run and gun. Frequently, I'm jotting down random thoughts or phrases into my notes app, fleshing out concepts into full sentences, or attempting to shape up paragraphs in Dropbox paper while in the middle of an unrelated activity. Nonlinear thinking and editing is your friend. It was this transition to mobile that made me begin thinking about unleashing a small squadron of bots to explore more language usage on Twitter. The next project required another account because I didn't want to cross streams, to delve into new themes. Roman Idioms was launched to explore the use of the following phrases. Rome wasn't built in a day. When in Rome, all roads lead to Rome. The script is basic, just 3 queries for 5 instances of each phrase to retweet. I haven't spent nearly as much time assessing how people are using those phrases because there are 3 times as many daily retweets on the account. My general sense is that the first 2 are used as an allowance, a way to permit ourselves to pace ourselves or behave in a foreign way. The third expression, I think, references concentrated power. I launched one last language-focused bot earlier this year when I started thinking about writing this essay. It is called Trendy Cliche and has only retweeted posts that use the phrase vibe check. I believe the medical coding incident we experienced this spring has quietly laid this cliche to rest, though we still see iterations of vibes in use. Having started a considerable number of Twitter accounts over the years for different projects or interests, I became eager to deploy scripts across a number of them to increase my exposure to particular information or increase engagement around a topic. This includes Rust Belt innovators, searching for technology, business, entrepreneurship posts around particular metropolitan regions, Speaker Cone, searching for posts including various art styles, and my own profile to engage with posts about the 1893 Columbian Exposition in Chicago.
Thanks for watching. The next segment will illustrate how to launch your own bot on Twitter.